everyone! I have been commented and asked why I haven't done any theories in Love and Deep Space. And that's, well, I think it's because I tend to do theories when it comes to other games, so where the fuck are the theories for this game? The great thing about Love and Deep Space is the fact that you don't need theories. The game explains everything to you. Through the antidotes, which again, I'm taking the time to read the antidotes to you guys. So most of the game, most of the theories, I can't make, because whatever theory you might have or what question you might have, the game explains it to you. The game tells you why these things are happening. And I got Peter's help to help me compile kind of how it is in the game. Yes, but let me read what Peter and I have written down, because this is really interesting. So, because I've been asked, like, who's the true route for Love and Deep Space, and the reality is there is no true route. Every single one is a true route. Every single lifetime is a true route. And I say lifetimes because if you haven't noticed throughout the game, yes, you're living different lifetimes, or at least you've lived different lifetimes. There's different lifetimes happening at the same time, and it's all revolved around these three boys and you. So, okay, I'm gonna switch because I do have it in a screenshot. So this may contain a bit of spoilers. So, if you haven't read the antidotes, I highly recommend the antidotes, but here it goes. In Xavier's antidote, we figured out that his MC died. Because of the disease, the protocore disease that we are born with in every lifetime, we always end up dying. And that is the constant here. And this is the one lifetime where maybe we won't die because of our disease, but every other one we have. Every single lifetime. Xavier tries to save you in his lifetime, but when he finds the cure or something close to a cure, you're already dead. And so this is why it has the deep space. Explaining this. That's why there's a deep space. So he travels through the deep space to find a version of you that he can save. Every single time he goes to another universe, either he's spending the whole time trying to find a cure, trying to travel to see if there is a version of you that isn't dying yet, to try to save. From what I understood. Xavier, I know. So Xavier, though, I talked to Peter about this, and I said, well, doesn't that mean that he just loves his original MC? Like, he doesn't necessarily love us. And he said, no, well, maybe. And we came to the conclusion that Xavier, though knowing that you are not his MC, and all the other MCs that he's seen is not his MC, that he still longs for that connection that he has with you, or he had with you, and hoping he can get those same connections with you, the current you that you're playing with. Which is why he's killed so many of the Wanderers, because he himself has been trying to find a cure for you, which is why he sounds so confused and surprised that in this lifetime you already have the Aether Core that would cure you. So, like, all these different shots are different lifetimes that we have with each boy. So you don't have to feel bad about romancing Xavier, because, Xavier has loved you throughout space. It's the same Xavier because he just keeps bouncing around in deep space. That's the whole point of deep space. He comes from a planet that in itself is an artificial protocore, and in that it makes him live much, much longer, but he's not immortal. He ages slowly. But we don't actually know how old this man is. This is an old man. Xavier is an old man. That is why he's always so sleepy. Or that's my headcanon, is that this man is sleepy because he is an old man. But yes, which is why he knows all these things, so like all these technologies, and how he knows all these people who are like elderly at this point. And he's like, oh, I've known them all my life, because he technically has. Or all the anecdotes of like, he sees this guy and he's like, yeah, you know, back in when I was a kid, I was confused too, but you know, Xavier looks the same. So that's the thing with Xavier. Xavier has loved you throughout deep space, throughout space. That's his theme. Now, let's move on to Raphael. I'm leaving Zane for last. So Raphael is the same Raphael in every single lifetime, which is he has met you in all these different lifetimes. And the first one is where you guys made a promise to not forget each other. But unfortunately you do. And every single lifetime, he holds up like some kind of hope that maybe, just maybe, you don't forget him, or you haven't forgotten him, or that you'll remember him. And every single time, he's reminded that you forget him. Which is why whenever you see his cards, or whenever you go through scenes with him, he's like, oh, you forgot. Or let me just make sure. He says, this is what Peter has said. Raphael has been in love with you with every version of you for as long as he's been alive. And yet it is always alone because he cannot live long enough to realize his feelings. And now there's this version of you who's likely outlived all previous versions, and he's trying to come to terms with the fact that possibly there's a chance for the two of you to actually be happy, and for him to not forget him again. So, sorry, I had to like move it because this isn't a text message. This is what me and my husband talk about in our spare time. But yes, Raphael is hoping that in this timeline, you might not forget him. Because fuck you, we've been forgetting him every single time. Every single time. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. I'll remember him. But again, every single time, he's having a moment where he's like, she's gonna realize my feelings. It doesn't mean we don't love him. We could most likely love him incredibly so, but do we admit it? No. No wonder he's so dramatic. Yes, because this Raphael has loved every single version of you. While Xavier has tried to see, you know, the old MC that died in every single one of you, he's always like, oh, it's not, you know, it's not them. But when it comes to Raphael, he has loved every single version of you. Every single one. He is that man. He is that faithful. And it's the same one. And most likely, he won't... I'm going to bring this up. Though it is kind of spoilers for Zane's part. But there is a chance that when you're no longer here, like us in this one, that he'll cease to exist. Because maybe, I don't know, he'll find something that kills him. Because he is immortal. From what we know, Raphael is immortal, but not invincible. He can still get hurt, but he's there. He's gonna be here for a while. But yeah, so Zane has loved you throughout, what, eons? So yeah, so Xavier will love you throughout all spaces. Raphael will love you throughout all eons. So that's that. So again, no need for me to do theories. The game explains it to you. But the last, and the thing that makes me cry the most is Zane. Zane will love you through death. That's the thing. Zane is... I almost wanted... When I spoke about Zane, he reminds me of the Grim Reaper. Death will always follow him. And every single time, you most likely died. And that is why he's been trying to find a cure for whatever you have. Which is why you'll see him researching after another, trying to find different things for hearts. So again, it's like someone like Xavier. But he dies. Zane does die. He grows old, but he is always reborn. What we learn throughout his anecdotes is that most of the Zanes are connected in one way or another. There's a scene in his Antidote, the last one, that this is canonically the future, not where we are. Canonically in the future, we're dead. But Zane's still alive. But Zane is not the Zane that we know. It's a different Zane. A Zane that was born, and then he kind of synced up with the other Zanes, the other lifetime Zanes, when he turned 17. And he has dreams about his other lifetimes. Dreams of when he was a doctor. Dreams of us. It always comes back to us. This Zane, though, the last Zane, well, I don't really want to think it's the last one, but the people are dying. Humans are turning into wanderers because of the amount of times they use protocores, which is most likely what's going to happen to the people now. They're gonna eventually turn into wanderers. Not like the wanderers that we know, that just kind of show up, but like tentacles coming out of them, and Zane has to mercy kill them all. So he is like the Grim Reaper, which is why in so many of his parts, so many of his stories, death is something that is always consistent. It says Zane is in love with you in so many universes, but because he attracts death to him like a magnet, he's afraid to get close. He doesn't want the fate that has befallen all others he's close to fall onto you. Because other versions of you in the other parallels have likely died already, and it's hard enough to lose you in those timelines, he's distancing now if he can, because he can't stand the thought of it happening again, no matter how deeply he's in love with you. So, Xavier will love you through all spaces, Raphael will love you through all eons, and Zane will love you throughout all lives. And that is the theme of Love in Deep Space. So you don't have to feel bad about any of the guys and like who's the true Ral, what's the main one, what's the canon route, because they all are. And technically,
next time you leave, make sure to tell me first.
And technically, the only thing that is really nice is this pocket little universe that we have on our screen of having him and then just switching around. Because every MC, regardless of who you're playing or how you look, you are the canon MC. It's the long hair, that's a canon, and the MC that you start off with, the one that we see, that's canon. If you have blonde hair, short hair, like no hair, you're also the canon MC. Regardless of how you look, your gender, anything, you are the MC. You are the canon MC.